Welcome to another video on the Life After Brady channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2020 roster outlook of the wide receivers as we sit here in May. Currently, I have 13 wide receivers listed on the roster. There's 14 if you count Matthew Slater, but to me he's more a special teamer. So for this effort, we're just going to look at the 13 guys. Patriots have 5 returning players in Julian Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, and Gunner. They have 2 returning real veterans, I'd say, Damier Beard and Marquise Lee. 2 returning semi-veterans who were signed in the practice squad late in the year, in Devin Ross and Quincy. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. And then 4 undrafted guys, Will Hastings out of Auburn, Sean Riley out of Syracuse, Jeff Thomas out of Miami, and Isaiah Zuber out of Mississippi State. In terms of how the roster stakes or looks at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that currently they have $27 million in cap dollars per Spotrac, which is 13.41% of the cap. And that is good for 10th in the NFL, the 10th highest cap hit. And that does include Matthew Slater's $2.475 million, which is obviously not cheap. When you go back to the 2019 roster, you had 9 players play semi-significant minutes at wide receiver for the Patriots. 6 of them legitimately played. 6 of them had more than 10% of the snaps. That includes Philip Dorsett, Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, who are all gone from the team. The most notable, obviously, is Dorsett. You have to replace 50% of the offensive snaps from last year as he played in 14 games. Really the number 3 receiver, I would say, behind Josh Gordon and Julian Edelman to start the year, and then behind Edelman and Mohamed Sanu later on in the year. So you have to replace that number 3 receiver. And then, so going back to the top of the screen, just a couple things I'd point out. Edelman's not going anywhere. $8.33 million dead cap hit. If they were in truly rebuild mode, there's a chance they would move on from him, but basically his cap hit is the same as if they cut him, so there's no reason for him to be traded or moved unless they're just throwing away the 2020 season, which they're not going to do. Mohamed Sanu is obviously the most likely cut candidate. $0 due to him if he is cut, with a hefty $6.5 million dead cap hit, which we'll get into later. N'Keal Harry is, along with Edelman, really guaranteed to make the roster. $6.39 million dead cap hit if he was cut, as he's a first-round pick from last year, so he's certainly on the roster. So outside of him and Edelman, to me, though, everyone else, virtually no dead cap hit or less than $1 million in dead cap hit if they are cut. So all possibilities. Even Damier Beard, signed as a free agent, has a $600,000 guaranteed is the number I found. And then the other thing to me is just, where do they go with age here? Edelman will be 34 when the 2020 season kicks off. Mohamed Sanu 31, and then everyone else is on the right side of 30, with a lot of young guys. N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, all second-year players, 23, 24 years old. So that's why, to me, Damier Beard or Marquise Lee, there's a decent chance they make the roster, just of trying to have some older guys. Belichick likes his older guys. It's not just a Tom Brady thing. So I think there's a potential that happens. And then, so with that being said, let's look at how I currently view the roster. It's tough to say how many people they're going to take on. I'm just looking from a wide receiver perspective. I'm not looking at the whole 53-man roster and then practice squad and all that fun stuff. So to me, the first 2 guys are locks, Edelman and Harry. I spoke of it because of the cap charges, and then they do both unique things in the offense. I think they're uniquely suited that way of they'd be difficult to replace of what you're trying to do in 2020. The number 3 receiver, and I say 3 receiver, just third guy who's going to make the roster. There's a chance Sanu, to me, moves above Harry in the actual depth chart. But, third guy who make the roster, you're looking at, to me, Sanu, Myers, and Beard. I didn't include Marquise Lee, coming off 2 years of injury there. I just don't think he's going to be the third receiver. I think him more of as a fourth receiver. So Myers, had a better actual year than Sanu last year by some numbers, more yards and slightly more catches, I believe. Nope, it's tied for catches, but less targets. So to me, it comes down to, for Sanu, is he that much more valuable than those 2? That's why I put him there. Is he $6.5 million better there? And I think Sanu also could be a factor in the, if they're looking to make moves other places, spend, they like to bring people in August and September. If they get rid of him, there's $6.5 million freed up. So I think there's a chance there that he has to be significantly better than Myers or Bird in order to make the team. And then the fourth spot, to me, if say Sanu makes it, then you're looking at Myers, Bird, or Lee filling in for kind of that Jacoby Myers role last year. Philip Dorsett, when he first started, that fourth receiver, guy that when you're going to go forward wide with, James White or Rick Burkhead type thing, or a tight end possibly in 2020, that's where they would fill in. You'd like to at least start the year with one of them. So I say you're definitely going to see four, and then Slater obviously make the team. The fifth spot, I'm not sure about yet. I'd imagine that's more of a special teams role, or just from a salary perspective, the fourth and fifth guys on this roster are not going to make much money, and nor should they. But you're basically looking: do we need a fifth receiver? Or do we need another D lineman, another DB? I would say they don't take five. True receivers, you're looking for more of a special teams role there, which is why it's highly unlikely Myers makes the team there. I guess the exception being if he's good enough. You're keeping him on just because he doesn't make much more money, but to me, more likely you'd see Gunner or an undrafted free agent that has special teams potential take that fifth spot. Bill Belichick obviously believes in all three phases of the game. With Joe Judge leaving in 2020, they're going to need good special teamers to go along with a new coach on that side of the football. So I think you're likely going to see someone there, especially the luck they had last year with Gunner and Jacoby Myers coming in as undrafted free agents. I'd say they take another guy there. And then the other point to me is where Harry and Jacoby Myers didn't stand out as studs in 2019, you're still trying to build for the future. You look to the future, 2021, 2022. Julian Edelman, probably gone by then. I would say so. Mohamed Sanu definitely gone by then. Bird and Lee will be gone. So you're looking to, fill in with more talent, and with four guys they brought in as free agents, undrafted free agents, and they haven't had a lot of hits, all time as Patriots, but I can see them keeping one around, especially once they get to camp. But that's how I see the roster breaking out for receivers. We will obviously see once they get in the field, because all this doesn't really matter much if you can't play on the football field. So we'll see how everyone does coming back from quarantine, and go from there. Thank you very much for joining us on today's Life After Brady channel. If you enjoyed the video, please like and comment below on anything you thought, and subscribe if you are not already. Thank you.